Okay, I think we can get started. So, thank you everyone for joining this webinar. So, what we're going to present today is how do you use the options desk platform on Deribit options trading. So, hopefully, this will give you an edge when you create your strategies in the crypto Deribit world. So, let's get started. So, essentially, option desk is a place where you can create custom strategies on your crypto options. You can analyze them, track them, and even trade on them. So the way you launch it is you go to GoCharting.com, and then on the top you will find options desk as an option in the tab. And when you click on Deribit, it will take you to the page where by default it is on BTC USD, right? So the underlying here is BTC USD, okay? And the way the platform works is on the top left, you choose the underlying. In this case, it is BTC USD. And the other option you have is by clicking on this drop down with Deribit logo on it. And you can choose between BTC and ETH. So here right now, when you select BTC, right, there are a few parts to this platform. So there are a bunch of tabs, as you can see here. So there are a few tabs, we're going to talk about them. And then there is the bottom panel where you have what we call as the strategy builder, a ledger, and a filter. So we're going to talk about these. So we're going to talk about the tabs. We're going to talk about the bottom panel. We're going to talk about the right-hand panel where you can connect directly to Deribit. So let's get started here. Uh, First of all, when you open the platform, so I'm going to spend probably 45 minutes of my time discussing about the platform, the features, how you can connect to Deribit, and how you can trade, and then probably another 5-10 minutes on FAQ, right? So when you launch the platform, the first thing that you will see is your corresponding to your underlying, which is BTC, you will find all your options chain here in a stack format, right? So when you click on any of these, you will find the option chain corresponding to the series. So right now I am in the series, which is going to expire in 1 day, right? And when you hover over these rows, you will find certain metrics that are computed real time. So here in this case, we have the at the money implied volatility, the cumulative open interest corresponding to this series, the max pain, which is at $62,000, the PCR or the put call ratio in terms of volume, which is 1.08, and the put call ratio in terms of open interest, which is 1.03. So using these metrics, we kind of give you a signal of whether it's a bullish or a bearish kind of a trend going on from an options flow standpoint. So right now, the series which is ending in 1 or 2 days or the near term series are in bullish, but the long-term series are bearish in nature. So let's go ahead and see how we can quickly analyze the option chain using option desk and quickly start, creating certain paper positions and start, working through them. Okay, so this is the basic view, and you can choose your theme from down below, like I've done. So this is the dark theme. So this is the default view where you can see the LTP, the ask, bid, and some of the other features. So let me go ahead and the way you can choose any of these fields is by right clicking on the column header. So that's one way you can do it. Or the other way is you can click on this field settings and you can just select on whichever column you want. So for in this case, I don't think I need the high. I need the LTP. I need the bid ask. I need the delta. So I can choose the Greeks, the implied volatilities, the open interest, the in the money probability, the theoretical price. So there are a bunch of 35 to 40 odd metrics that you can choose from directly from this view. Now, once you do that, you will find this appear in this format. So you have the strike, okay, and I'm going to get rid of one more column called paper now. For now, I'm just going to give you a view of how it looks like. So This is a real-time calculation going on the option chain. You have the call on the left and you have the put on the right side. You have a bunch of columns corresponding to the call options and a bunch of columns corresponding to the put. You right click on any of the headers and you choose the fields that you want. Okay, so the fields include not only the price and volumes, but it also includes all the fields corresponding to the Greeks like gamma, vega, theta, and everything related to open interest. And there are a bunch of other analytics fields like in the money probability, which kind of gives you what is the probability that this particular contract is going to be in the money at the time of expiry. So these are some of the very important metrics that as an options trader you should be aware of. I'm not going to go into the details of the concept of what each of them mean, but I'm just going to show you from a software standpoint, how does this platform cater to this. So now that you have this view, right, I have this default, I've selected some of the fields that I think are important to me. Okay, then what do I do is I can probably choose another column called paper, and this is where all your paper positions will directly show up, and I'm going to show you how. So one of the ways of doing this is by clicking on this buy and the sell buttons, right? So if I click on the buy and the sell buttons, it will ask me whether I want. So it's a virtual trade that I'm going into. It's a paper trade, and it will ask me how many contracts I wanna take a position in, right? So if I put a buy, it will give me a buy position. And if I pull the S button, it will take a sell position. So I'm taking for now, I'm just going to go ahead and choose one, which is one contract, and add. The moment I add, you see this number of contracts that you've taken a position here. And if it's in green, it means it's a buy, right? The net position is buy at this particular strike price of 56,000, right? And if it's in red, it means it's a sell. The other way you can see this is here in the bottom, you have what you call as the strategy builder, right? So I've taken a paper position that I can see here. And if you open this particular table, you can see the underlying leg, which is right now a call option on 56,000, right? So that's what you can see here. So that's the very basics of how you can create a very simple, position, paper position. The other way is you can click directly on the bids and the asks. So if I click on the bid and the ask, it will give you a similar kind of a view, and you can choose how many contracts you want. Okay, and just take the position. So for example, let me go ahead and clear my position here. Okay, and I have clear my position, and let me go ahead and take uh, out of money put option here. So I'm going to sell a put, and I want to be mindful that I want to take a liquid one. So refrain from taking the ones where there is no bid and ask. So I'm going to go ahead and take something which is more liquid. And maybe I should choose and I take a buy position. The moment I take a buy position here, the position is shown here. And these red and green dots that you see, or the bars that you see, is giving you a sense of what your PNL is. What it means is right now, if your underlying is at 61,700, anything above this, you are in loss, and anything, if it goes down, if it goes below 61,000, you will be in profit. And that's why it's in green. And you can hover over these bars and it will show you your PNL at a given strike price. So every panel here is resizable. So I'm just going to go ahead and resize this, and I'm going to see that, okay, I've taken a position, a buy position on a put option, and this is my strike price, and this is the real-time calculation of my PNL. So I'm right now at a positive of 48,000 that you can see on the top, right? This is my IV, and these are all my deltas. Now, if I want to change my size, I can directly click on this size and I can make it say 2. Okay, let me go ahead and make this say 2 contracts, and I edit it and it becomes 2, right? If I want to change the strike price, I can click here and I can choose something like, say I want to go to 65, 61. Let me take 60,000. So I'm now in the money. Uh, I just want to make sure, yeah. And I edit it, and it automatically gets edited, and you can see the position has shifted from 63,000 to 60,000. I can change the entry price if I want. So if you want to back test and you have already taken certain positions and you want to back test, you can again click on the entry and make your changes accordingly. So I'm not going to do that for now, but for now this is how it will look. Okay, so this is how uh, it is giving you a real-time calculation of the position that you have taken. Now this is a very simple position that I have taken, a strategy, but now I'm going to go ahead and start building some complex ones. Okay, so one of the ways, like I've shown, is obviously to select your positions directly from here. And the other way is, you can click on this add strategy and it will give you a pre-built set of 45 strategies, which can be clubbed under bullish, bearish, volatility, and arbitrage. So let me go ahead and take a particular strategy. Say, I can choose something like Iron Condor. I've taken an iron condor and I'm gonna place it on the series, which is going to expire in 14 days. Okay, and I am gonna apply it. The moment I apply, it directly gets added. And if I expand it, and you can see it is a four-leg strategy, which comprises of two buys and two sells, each of calls and puts, and it has directly taken the positions accordingly. And now I can go back and go to the, for example, the series that I've chosen, which will expire in 14 days, and I can see exactly the positions that I have taken here. So this is a real-time calculation that is happening, and I'm in profit of $1,163. So this is where you can start tracking all your positions directly. Okay. Now, what are the other features I can do here? I can directly place a basket order on this. So if I place a basket order, it will directly go ahead and connect to Deribit exchange and place all the basket orders. But before you do that, you have to connect to Deribit, and I'm going to show that to you in a while. Square off is basically where you go ahead and square off all of your positions. So there are many ways of doing it. You can square off the entire position, entire strategy comprising of all the four legs at the same time, or you can individually right click on each of these and close your positions, right? So then you have something called as, obviously you can delete the strategy if you want, and then there's something called as a strategy structure, which is basically giving you the structure of this strategy that you can copy, you can save. Now let me go ahead and save this. Okay, now it's got saved and it will be in my save templates, right? Uh, uh, so this is my saved templates, and I've saved my iron condor in here, as you can see. So now what it means is it has really taken the structure based on relative positions of the strikes against the underlying. And now I can use this particular strategy that I have saved or I've created on any given asset. So I can use the same iron condor on ETH, right? Or in BTC at any point in time. So I can go, say, 2 months. Uh, 2 months down the line, I can go and apply the same strategy once again, right? And based on where the underlying is at that point, so suppose right now it is at 62,000, 2 months down the lane it is at 70, it will adjust the strike prices accordingly. Now that you have a good sense of what this basics is, now let's go ahead and look at how you kind of draw a payoff chart out of it. So let me go ahead and clear all my strategies in here. So the payoff chart is the second tab here, right? So what do we do is, this is the default view. So it will ask you, click here to add positions. When you add positions, right, this is a second view of the strategy panel, now the left hand side. So this will open up this left hand panel here that I am showing you. Let me go to the white screen, and maybe the dark screen is better. Okay, so I click on add strategy. It will ask me to name my strategy. So let me name my strategy as my first Deribit strategy. Okay. Now apply it. Now this is my first Deribit strategy, I can see. Okay. Now when I click on the add leg, the option chain will show up from the left. And from here, I can directly go ahead and choose whatever series I want. So on the top, I'm going to choose the series that will end on 19th of November, right? And I go ahead and choose the buys and the sells. So when I click on buy, it will ask me for the size I want, which in terms of contracts is 1. So the moment I do that, this is your, what I call as the payoff chart. So the payoff chart looks something like this, where you have the PNL on the right hand side, Okay, and in the left hand side, so let's understand this payoff chart, what it is. So this payoff chart comprises of two series by default. So the one in white colors you can see is your PNL on the day of expiry, and the one in red and green, which has the shaded colors in it, it is showing you your PNL as of today. So what it means is, now that I've taken a put position, right? Uh, Let me go ahead and make one little change. Let me add the marker. Okay. Sorry, the marker. So this is the exact position that I've taken. And if you hover over it, you see that I've taken a put at 70,000, right? Now, what it means is right now, when the price is below 61,000, that's where I'm going to start making money, right? And anything beyond this, I'm going to just lose money. So that's my PNL is in red. The moment the price is goes more than this, I'm going to start making money in this particular out of money options, right? Now if I want, I can, and this whole thing is getting calculated on the top. My PNL right now is 0, right? Because there's not a lot of trading happening, because I really took a illiquid stock. And let me go ahead and make that change. Let me take something more liquid. Okay, so this is a position that I have taken right now, and the max profit right now is, this is what is the maximum profit that is possible in this strategy, which is infinity. The maximum loss is 4630, which is the price of the premium that you are paying right now. Then R by R is basically your risk reward ratio, which is basically a difference, a ratio of your max profit by max loss. Pop, as you can see, is the probability that your strategy will make a positive profit on the expiry day. Right now, the pop is 37.8%. That means it's a 37.8% probability that it will make a profit. The premium is what you are paying. We all know what it is. BE is nothing but the break even. So basically, the break even point is the point at which the strategy will make neither a profit nor a loss. So how do you see so the break even right now is 58,999. So so that's that's the price. If the underlying goes, that's when you will make neither a profit nor a loss. So if the price keeps going down, that's when you start making money here, because it's a put option. And then let's look at the chart here. Okay, so on the right hand side is your PNL. On the left hand side, you have the option to choose any of the Greeks as an underlying. So I can choose some, for example, the gamma. This is showing me the plot of gamma against the strike price. I can choose delta, I can choose vega, I can choose theta, I can choose anything I want, right? So these are the overlaying series. Okay, and these uh, lines that you see here are showing you your one standard deviation, right? So what is the probability of profit within this one standard deviation? You do have the option here on the left hand side to choose whether you want to choose one standard deviation. If you want two standard deviation, you want the break even line, this is your break even line. So there are various options that you can choose from, right? So once I've taken this position, right, I can see my strategy name and underneath the various legs I've taken. Okay, now let me go ahead and make something more, complex. So let me go to add legs and then choose certain options from on the call side as well. So I have taken a pretty uh, nice looking strategy here. It's more like a straddle, right? Probably more like a strangle. It's more like a straddle that I've made right now. And what are the options that I have here that I can work with, right? So once I do that, I can see these positions here and your PNL getting calculated real time. I can do a what if analysis. So let me go ahead and do that. So what this what if analysis will do is basically run certain simulations on this strategy that you have taken to show how your PNL is going to look like as we uh, change the date or the time of the decay, as we change the volatility, as we change the underlying. Okay, so if I change, for example, the volatility, as you can see, as the volatility goes down, this is how the shape of your PNL is going to be like. Okay, if your volatility increases, it goes up. If your volatility goes down, it will also go down, right? Similarly, I can choose, for example, a strategy that is going to uh, expire in, say, 7 days. So let me go ahead and do that. So let me choose 19th November and make a straddle out of this. Okay, so that's my straddle on 19th November, right? So now what I can do is with the passage of time, I can see how, you know, the straddle PNL is payoff chart is going to look like as we move from today, okay, to the day of the expiry. So you can run a lot of simulations using these techniques with the what if analysis. Now, if you want to look at kind of score your Greeks, right? You have this option called show Greeks bar, and the Greeks bar will show up. So basically it will show you all your Greeks right now, right? In either in decimal format or in USD, which is your pair. So so basically this will give you a running count of your Greeks, all your Greeks, along with the payoff chart. I think there are a few more options. I can choose the grids. I can try to zoom in, zoom out. I can lock the chart. If I lock the chart, it is not going to pan anymore. If I unlock it, I can move it around. I do have the ability to actually add the same strategies, built-in strategies that I talked about directly from here. And I do have the option to clear everything that is there on my payoff chart. So that those are the basically, a lot of features packed in, right? You can look at all your positions that you have taken. You can change, you can run a zillion simulations on your complex strategies. And you also do have the option to make multiple strategies. Suppose I've made one strategy here. Let me call it the straddle. That's what it is. Apply. And then I can choose and make another strategy. Suppose this is a new strategy I'm going to make here. And let me make a strangle probably. So I can take this and I choose this. Okay. Now the payoff that you are seeing is a combination of all the strategies that you have chosen, but you do have the option of choosing the ones that you want to really analyze at a given point in time. So for example, I've already looked at the straddle. Now I just want to concentrate on the strangle. So this is your classic strangle that I've created here, right? This is a classic strangle I've created, and I have unselected straddle. So it is only giving me the calculations based on the strangle position that I've taken. So these kind of toggle buttons allow me to kind of go leg by leg or strategy by strategy and analyze them. So that kind of does everything that you need to know. This is your underlying position, and on the top you see something called as projected PNL, which is basically a Black-Scholes pricing of your current strategy, assuming your extrinsic price is 0. So this is somewhere where you can actually create, very profitable and complex strategies and kind of easily manage them. Next up is the price chart. We all know what a price chart is, right? So by default, it is giving me the underlying chart. So this, like any other, advanced charting platform, it gives you all the indicators, it gives you all the drawing tools, it gives you complex and uh, very complex indicators based on order flow. For example, I can go ahead and choose something like market profile, right? And this is basically your market profile chart on the fly, right? So anyone who is aware of the concepts of market profile can directly apply these on their chart, right? And basically at this point in time, you are right now in a position where you can choose you can basically choose the positions that you want, and you can actually look at all your positions directly from here in the bottom panel, where I can choose my positions that I have taken. Let me go ahead and do that, and my P&L calculation. So right now the P&L calculations will give me, as soon as I start making some profit or loss, it will start showing me my positions. And the other important feature in this price chart, and I'm not going to go into the depth of the price chart. This is the position that I have taken on the these are some of the positions that I've taken. As you are aware, the strangle and the straddles that I've taken here, the strangle and the straddles positions that I've taken, and you can see directly here on the chart. And the other important thing that I can really track from an options trading standpoint is OI, right? So besides a normal volume profile or market profile, what would be very, very interesting for options trader is to understand how the volumes in the option chain are getting traded. So here in the bottom, there's something called as OI profile. So when I click on OI profile, I can go ahead and choose something called as enable OI profile, right? The moment I enable it, let me go to the white screen. Okay, and you can see now, the chart, and these bars, what they are showing you is basically your open interest on the call side, which is in green, and on the put side, which is in red, against your price. So now you very well know by looking at this where the interest in the market is from a sentiment standpoint. So I know that there is some interest here at this 60,000 mark, but there is a long position that is getting opened at 70,000, and this may be interesting. So it might be, a bullish trend as of now on a long term. So you do have the option here to choose either open interest, or you can also choose volume, which is basically the actual trading that is happening here. So you can see most of the trading is happening on the put side at 62,000 and on the call side at 64,000. So these are interesting points, and if ever this kind of breaks from here, you find a big support here at 50,000 and 54,000. So this is what I call as the OI profile, or the open interest profile. And this is based on the open interest that is being created on the options chain that I had already explained to you. So next up, we talk about volume surface, the volatility surface. Any questions, please feel free to, ping me on this. So on the volatility surface, you do have the option to choose any indicator you want. So by default, it is showing you the implied volatility against the strike price. You do have the ability at this point to go ahead and compare the implied volatility of a given series, which is chosen from here on the top, and compare it with the other series. That is, for example, the series expiring on 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, and you can choose any one of them, and it will just directly, plot those for you here. So this kind of gives you a very nice view of where the implied volatility is trending across the various series, as I can see here, right? And you can see them on the left against all the series. And now if I want to choose, for example, something like, I can choose something like I want to plot the premium. So I go to the indicators and I choose the premium. So it is giving me the premium on the call and the put side, which is the call premium and the put premium directly on this chart. Same thing I can probably do with open interest, which is also interesting because I can now see where the open interest across the strike prices are. And we have already probably seen that in our price chart OI profile, but this is a separate, different view of the same information without the price chart. So these are some of the features, and here you can actually choose the series that you want to kind of focus on. And this is how you can analyze all your positions directly, all your basically series and their skewness and all of their important metrics directly on this chart itself. Let's see. There's something called as max pain. So max pain, if you are aware of the concept of max pain, it will also give you for a given series, which is chosen on the top, what is the particular max pain here. The same thing will apply for any other indicator that you choose from this list. And I'm not going to go into the details. I'll let you guys play with it. Okay. Now, having said that, let's talk about the another tab called StratWatch. Now, StratWatch is basically a is basically a watch list for all your strategies. Now, as a particular watch list will only allow you to, add symbols one instrument at a time. Add strategy allows you to add a complete strategy comprising of multiple legs directly onto your chart, onto your watch list. So here there are two options. There is the built-in panel where I have the 40 odd strategies that I've talked about, and you can choose the particular strategy, choose the particular series, and just add. The moment you add, it gets added, and you can now track them before you enter into a paper or a real position. Now, here you can right click and choose the columns that you want, you know, and you do have the option to, click it and sort them based on your requirements. So if I add another, and I can choose from my safe strategies that I've already shown you. I had made a hedge strategy. So I've added the hedge, I've added my iron condor. So all of that gets added. Now you have the option to, track them using this watch list, and it is completely sortable. You do have the option to download it, okay, and you do also have the option to change a lot of other things that um, would be necessary before you take a position. Now, once you have added this to your watch list, you do have the ability to directly add these strategies directly to your strategy builder. So I can go ahead and hover over them, and it will give me an option: paper trade, real basket trade. So if you want to directly place this order on Deribit, that's what you do. And then, or you want to do a paper trade. So I'm going to do a paper trade for now. So I'm going to put in the hedge strategy, which comprised of two legs, and it directly gets added. Your payoff chart, this is how it looks like. And you can directly start, depending on your convenience, you can start, placing this directly on Deribit. So that's how the StratWatch works. So these are the main features, and there are a ton of more features that I'm not going to go into the details, but these are the main features that you should need to know while starting your options trading journey on Deribit in GoCharting. Now, if you want to connect, for example, to Deribit, you click on brokers, and in brokers, you have a list of brokers, but here you will choose Deribit as your exchange. And this is where you enter your credentials. So it requires your client ID and your secret key. You do have the option to choose either live or the test mode, right? And then connect to it. So for example, I am already connected right now in this particular window. The broker is connected. And once you are connected, you can go to the ledger tab, and in ledger, I can see basically all my trades that I've taken, all my orders or my positions, my balance, all of that you can check here. So if I go to, for example, the price chart, and I can see, for example, all the real trades that I have taken on Deribit BTC USD or on any of the options, and then I can also look at all the positions that I have made. So right now I've taken a position. So let me go ahead and see how it works. So I'm gonna just go ahead and first look at my paper strategies and the strategy panel. So I haven't taken any paper strategy yet. So let me go ahead and add, for example, an iron condor, or probably a simple call option, a long call, maybe, yeah, on the expiry of 7 days. So I'm gonna take a simple long call here. So this is my paper strategy of long call, and I'm gonna try and trade on Deribit through this platform here. So one of the ways is doing it is I can choose this trade button, and it will give me, the option to choose my limit, market stop, everything, right? And then here on the basket order, I choose confirm to place the basket order, and basket order, like I said, it will place a market order. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to confirm it. The moment I placed, it says order ID is placed successfully. And as you can see, the moment it is placed, right, this order, now a new strategy shows up, which is called real. Real is where all your real trades and positions that you have taken on Deribit will show up. So this is your real trade that you have taken, right? So let me go ahead and go to my options chain, okay? And as I can see here, I can select on the real column. And as you can see here, I've taken a position at 62,000, and this is what is showing up here under this particular leg. Now I can probably go ahead and check the same thing in my orders. So this is the order that I had taken. Let me sort it. So the order that I had taken was a market order which got filled, and this is my position that I have taken here on Deribit. So now I can go to my payoff chart and I can select on my payoff chart. So what I've done is I have removed the paper position, and I'm just going to go ahead and track the my real position right now. So right now I'm in a profit of 2,338. Okay, and the premium for that, and that's where and it seems like a pretty profitable position for me right now, but we'll have to see. There are 7 days to expire, but that's how basically you are now able to quickly, track all your real strategies in here. And later, if I wish to square off, I can just go ahead and click on the square off button, and I can close the position. You do also have the ability to close all your positions at the click of one button. So you can close all your real positions at the click of one button. You do have the ability to reverse the position. You cannot reverse obviously a real trade, but you can reverse a paper position and see how it's going to take place. So in terms of capability of trading, it pretty much has all the capabilities. You can place your order, modify, you can cancel, you can track your positions, you can build complex strategies. Now I've created a simple one, which is basically a long call, but you can create all these complex strategies that I've showed you and directly place them on Deribit. So this is where I think I pretty much covered the basics of the platform. I hope to kind of get back to you with all your questions. You can email us on admin@gocharting.com, and we'll be happy to address all your queries. Or you can directly click here on the support, and it will take you to our Discord channel, and you can basically interact with the developers and the team members if you have any questions or if you have any feature request. So thank you everyone for joining this webinar with us on Deribit options. Hope you liked it. Thank you so much.